Russian interference in the 2020 United States elections was a matter of concern at the highest level of national security within the United States government, in addition to the computer and social media industries. In February and August 2020, United States intelligence community experts warned members of Congress that Russia was interfering in the 2020 presidential election in then-President Donald Trump's favor. USIC analysis released by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence in March 2021 found that proxies of Russian intelligence promoted and laundered misleading or unsubstantiated narratives about Joe Biden to U.S. media organizations, U.S. officials, and prominent U.S. individuals, including some close to former President Trump and his administration. In response to Russian interference in the 2016 United States elections, Special Counsel Robert Mueller conducted a 2-year-long investigation. The resulting report concluded that Russia interfered in sweeping and systematic fashion. In his July 2019 congressional testimony, Mueller stated that the Russians continue to interfere in U.S. elections, as we sit here, and that many more countries have developed disinformation campaigns targeting U.S. elections, based partly on the Russian model. Also in July 2019, the Senate Intelligence Committee released the first volume of a bipartisan report on Russian interference in the 2016 United States elections, a report that included recommendations for securing the 2020 elections. The second volume of that report noted, based on social media data from October 2018, that Russian disinformation efforts may be focused on gathering information and data points in support of an active measures campaign targeted at the 2020 U.S. presidential election. In a highly classified report, the Central Intelligence Agency stated, "We assess that President Vladimir Putin and the senior-most Russian officials are aware of and probably directing Russia's influence operations aimed at denigrating the former U.S. vice president, supporting the U.S. president and fueling public discord ahead of the U.S. election in November." The existence of this report, published at the end of August 2020, was made public knowledge on September 22 in reports from The Washington Post and The New York Times. U.S. officials have accused Russia, China and Iran of trying to influence the 2020 elections. Between January and late July 2017, Twitter identified and shut down over 7,000 phony accounts created by Iranian influence operations. According to Christopher A. Wray, the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Russia is attempting to interfere with the 2020 United States elections. Speaking to the Council on Foreign Relations in July 2019, Wray stated, "We are very much viewing 2018 as just kind of a dress rehearsal for the big show in 2020. Dan Coates, the former director of national intelligence, believes that Russia and China will both attempt to influence the elections. As of September 2020, intelligence officials point to Russia as the more acute threat to the election, saying that China has been expressing its preferences by public rhetoric rather than engaging in covert operations to denigrate a candidate or otherwise interfere in the election itself." Wray testified to the House Committee on Homeland Security on September 17, 2020 that Russian efforts to damage the Biden campaign were very active. According to United States intelligence officials interviewed by the New York Times, Russian operations would be intended to help President Trump, potentially by exacerbating disputes around the results, especially if the race is too close to call. The FBI and the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency have stated that Russian cyber attacks have targeted U.S. state, local, territorial, and tribal government networks, as well as aviation networks. Various disinformation campaigns on social media have targeted the Democratic Party candidates running in the 2020 Democratic Party presidential primaries. This has prompted considerable concern regarding the ability of social media companies to cope with disinformation and manipulation. By August 2019, Facebook and Twitter had banned advertisements that use misinformation to attempt the suppression of voter turnout. Microsoft developed an open-source software called Election Guard to help safeguard the 2020 elections. In mid-July 2019, Microsoft announced that it had, over the prior year, notified nearly 10,000 customers they've been targeted or compromised by nation-state attacks. Based on attacks that had targeted political organizations, and on experience from 2016 and 2018, Microsoft anticipated attacks targeting U.S. election systems, political campaigns or NGOs that work closely with campaigns of the nation-state attacks that had originated from Russia. Microsoft claimed that they followed the same pattern of engagement as Russian operations in 2016.